Hi, everybody. Tashi here from Pixie Mommy's Reborns. Welcome back. To all of you new, hello and welcome. So, aunties and uncles, we have a real treat today. Look who's being featured in this video. Yes, it's Aasir. Say hi, aunties. Mwah. Hi, uncles. Mwah. So, many of you know Aasir. He is the heart of my Reborn collection. Aasir has a very, very special place with me in my heart. He's not my first Reborn, but he is my first Kymberlee's Cocoon Reborn. He's actually my first AA, as a lot of the terms are AA, which is African American. I always explain that Kymberlee's babies, I always just say African, because that's how his artist, creates all of her babies with that vision. She had spent some time living in Africa and has, that's in her heart. So I always say with her babies, I say my African babies. So he was my first African Reborn. I collected dolls pretty much, like, I would say, my whole life. Just as far as, like, as a kid, I had like the Cabbage Patch dolls and, just the regular kind of, kid dolls and stuff. And then I did the Cabbage Patch dolls again in like the year 2000 or early 2000s, I want to say, whatever they were coming up with then. And I did the Adora dolls for a bit. So, I've always been so definitely not my first African American baby, because I had that since a child, but my first in the Reborns. So he's kind of special to me, and his little personality, I don't know, guys, folks, he's something else. He's just really special. There's never going to be another Aasir. That is for sure. And he just fits me so perfectly. So, to those of you that do not know Aasir, he is the Sally sculpt by Bonnie Brown. He's a Bonnie Brown sculpt. We don't see a lot of the Sallys around, although once I got Aasir and, put it out there and said, I don't see many Sallys around, a lot of you popped up and said, I have one. So I like to kind of follow the Sallys that are around in the community. And of course, he has his cousin Charlie over at Random Reborns with Renee. Charlie's a little girl, a little blonde hair, blue-eyed, little Charlie girl, who also has an exceptionally, just fun character, just, lots and lots and lots of personality. And everybody that I see that has Sally's is kind of the same thing. This sculpt just, takes on a lot of personality. So you have those little ears, and his artist is Kymberlee's Cocoon, which, as a lot of you know, she is, up there, one of my favorite artists and very dear person to me, friend to me. This is actually another one of her babies here. This is Tumilo, and he is the newest addition. Let's see, did I get Chase? He's my newest Kymberlee's baby, put it that way. And he is the Denver Rose sculpt by Marita Winters. He's a preemie baby. He is a painted hair baby. He's now my only painted hair baby in my collection, which I love that. I love to have, and he's the perfect sculpt for that. Look at how darling he is. I actually came up, and he's about to get changed. He's here because he's about to get something on. He just has a onesie on. Look at these little feet. I'm also going to go back to Aasir and show Aasir's feet. They have similar feet, different sculptor, but very expressive feet. And I love, love, love that. So yeah, he's gonna get changed. So he's up here. But when I came up, I saw him on the bed, and Stellan's here. If you all want to say hi to Stellan, of course. Say hi, aunties and uncles. Stellan is just snoozing away. He still has on, because I just can't take these off. These little sockies from Auntie Inez. I just, I can't with these socks. I've loved them. I've admired them for so long on her channel, on her babies, that I love them. And for this weather, they just feel so, I don't know, they just feel so snuggly. I don't know. So yeah, that's Stellan there. But back to the Denver Rose sculpt, very expressive feet, and this sculpt and hands and face. This is also a very expressive, baby. It's, personality. Look at that beautiful birthmark, or some of you call them moles. And he has one, and all of Kymberlee's babies have birthmarks, somewhere. Aasir even has a few on his head, which I got to see his work in progress picture, so I knew where they were, which was fun. And he's got one up here on his ear. He's got them around. He's got one over his eyebrow. I'll take his glasses off so you can really see this sculpt. Because you know what? I came on just to hop on. I didn't really have a topic. So here we go. We're doing a little bit of sculpts. That's his little birthmark there, and his beautiful brown eyes, but he has the brown newborn eyes. They're glass eyes, and they have that little ring of blue around them. Gorgeous, gorgeous eyes. Kymberlee always puts, amazing glass eyes in her babies, and always finds the perfect ones for each baby. And that hair, I mean, oh, mama, I just can't with the hair. The wild curls, it's just my thing. I don't know if I ever told you, just look at this. I actually took out the, let me lay him down. I took out the Carol's Daughter's milk to show you all again. I did the video on hair care, my little tips on the Reborn doll and silicone hair care, mohair care, or even human hair. This is, I'll give you all a better look at what this is. I don't use this as far as conditioning the hair. I talked about how I condition the doll's hair, maybe, once a year, and I use that L'Oreal. You can pop back into that video. I don't know how to put up the cards or anything, but it's only a few videos back. But this is what I use the Carol's Daughter's milk if it just needs a spruce up in between. So I wet the hair down completely, get it, pretty wet as far as the curls, and gently comb or brush it out, and then you take just a tiny little, less than a pea size, or just a pea size, depending on how much hair, how big of a head, into the palm of your hand. And I always kind of I put the little pea size on my palm, and then I spritz some water so my palms are wet, and I kind of just lather my palms together, and then I just go all around the head and start zhuzhing the curls and, working that in. You don't want it to be so much where you're going to get where it's going to weigh it down, or you're going to get a build up and stuff like that. But this is nice. It just spruces up the curls really, really nice. If the doll had been sitting for a bit, displayed or something, and had, just a little, dust build up or something. And you can use plain water for that too, but that just gives it a little extra oomph, makes their hair smell really nice. And yeah, so that's what I do to, spruce up. I probably use this maybe, you know, not often, twice a year, maybe. I don't use it a lot, but, you know, it was Aasir's time for a spruce up, and then probably closer to the spring, if he needs it, he'll get another conditioning. He's had two since he's been with me. Was like the third year he's been with me, I believe. So yeah, that's what I do with his hair. And he has, oh my goodness, I remember back to his box opening and touching his hair, and I was like, it's like touching heaven. It is so soft. Oh, it's incredibly soft. Aasir is a baby that, you put his glasses on and you dress him up cute, and you can get some really, really sweet pictures, and he's got big personality, and you could definitely put him sitting up and props and things and have a lot of fun. But he also, when his glasses are off and he's in his little sweet, baby PJs and maybe has a passy, he's a perfect little, newborn or, 1 month old baby. When I first had him in my nursery, I didn't have as many dolls in my collection. I did a lot of role play and feeding videos. You can see a lot of me, feeding him bottles and changing his clothes. Like I do all the babies now. I just, have more dolls now. And, I pretty much, since my whole time in collecting, I've had a steady flow of babies coming in, some going out. So, the newer babies in the nursery, I always tend to spend more time with and bring on video and stuff like that, which I had talked about this, like choosing which one and why you may not see some of my babies that have been here a while as much as other babies. It's not that I don't love them as much or enjoy them as much at all. It's just you want to create that bond with your new babies coming in. We all know in this hobby, we use the word bond, and we all know how critical that is to a collector, to have that bond, that magic with their Reborn and silicone dolls. And bond, meaning, to anyone listening that is not a doll collector, obviously, these are inanimate objects. They are not people. So it's not like a two-way bond. But when we say bond, it's just your sentimental attachment to that doll. It's just, that's all it boils down to, is your love for, what you have, the same as, any other type of, cherished collectible, something passed down from your great grandmother, anything like that you, something that you cherish, and that's just that's it. But we call it, a bond. Have to pull my sleeve, sorry. We call it a bond, and we call ourselves Reborn mommies and daddies, and part of the fun in collecting these amazing lifelike works of art is, we do the role, some of us do the role play. We buy clothing for them. We, simulate a bottle feeding. And often we will do that on camera, on film, for entertainment purposes for other doll collectors to see. And We do it while we chat, and it's fun. If you're into dolls, you're into realistic lifelike dolls, and you're a collector in that way, then that's fun. So that's, just for anybody that doesn't quite understand, why the terminology is used, like bond. That's why, nothing, you know, nothing more than that. We're not, cuckoo, crazy people in any way and in any more than anybody else that collects, anything or shops for, hey, some people are into, jewelry or, clothing, shoes. A lot of people are very into their shoes and what they're spending and, getting the new latest fashion and this and that. And it's just an outlet of, fun. And obviously it's they are frivolous purchases, they're not necessities. So it's just, something for enjoyment anyways. So I am definitely a doll collector that really, my bond becomes, really deep or good with the babies that seem to have lots of big personality in some way or another. Or have taken on their own personality. Like, let's just take Stellan, for instance. Stellan is the Levi sculpt by Bonnie Brown. And Levi is a very popular sculpt. We see a lot of Levi's. I think he is just a timeless sculpt that is always going to be desired by collectors, loved by many, etc. If you hear some yelling downstairs, it's just Gabriel on the game, and it's not like unhappy yelling, it's happy yelling, but he just gets enthusiastic, I should say, about the game. So sorry about that. But Levi has the curled legs, the famous, little curled legs, and that little lip that's sucked up, the bottom lip sucked in. And, he has some distinctive features that are, most, collectors will, be able to recognize the Levi sculpt. So as far as personality, Stellan happens to be one of two Levi's that when I was pretty much new to collecting, that I saw, and I saw as my vision of the perfect what I wanted in this sculpt as far as painting. The other is an artist that has their own Levi, and those two Levi's were like, I was like, that's kind of my ultimate there in a Levi. Now I really wanted Stellan with sparser hair, especially when I got him in person. I realized, because the cranial structure is amazing on the Levi sculpt. He's got the fontanelle here, and he's got the, just the bone, it's beautiful cranial structure, and in person and touching it and stuff with the sparser hair, I can appreciate that part of the sculpt. So I chosen to have Stellan rerouted, and now he's my like ultimate Levi. But Stellan had been with another collector to start, and kind of a beloved Levi in the community. Many of you remember him over with Inez at the Reborn Doll Collective. So Stellan had, a little personality over there, and he belonged to someone, and he was, what I'm saying? Like, it's, that in itself gives a doll a certain character or a certain energy. It's like, oh yes, I know who Stellan is, that sort of thing. So that kind of made him extra special to me. His painting is, really, really amazing. He's got this little I guess you might call it like pimple here. That's kind of, just that stellan there. And I always thought that that I would be able to feel this, and it's not. It's completely smooth. There's no, it's not a raised pimple or anything. It has the illusion because of the amazing painting, and you can see some of his milk bumps now that you normally can't, see unless you're really close up. But in person, I can see all of these amazing details on this baby. So the extreme, details of his painting, really, sets him apart. In that pings my heart. I love his little like rashy knees, and he's got a ton of details. So yeah, so anyway, babies with big personalities really, give it the extra oomph. A lot of times I'm more drawn to babies with open eyes because I feel like I'm interacting more, and you can see more of a personality in an awake baby. But now I do now have quite a few sleeping babies in my collection that I'm very happy with. I did go through a certain period of time where I thought I couldn't bond with sleeping babies. I wouldn't buy any sleeping babies. I was afraid to. And then all that got blown out of the water when my little preemie, my Maya by Kymberlee's Cocoon came along, and she's a sleeping baby and a little preemie. So then I realized, okay, if a baby is newborn size or smaller, I still do okay with the sleeping babies. So it kind of just depends. It just depends on the baby. The sculpt is really, really important. So I noticed we have a lot of new collectors coming in, which I love. I love to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. A lot of questions coming in. I'll be making videos to answer some of those questions. Some of them kind of require a little bit of research myself, and I can make entire videos for you all. I kind of talked about that a little bit for 2020, what I'm going to be bringing to you all. And I know that everyone viewing, and especially newcomers into the hobby, really appreciate the informational, the tips and tricks, the how-tos, and all of that. So you're going to have a lot of that coming from me this year. And it's so great to see you all here. And, we all often get the first question, how, where, how do I buy a Reborn? Where do I buy a Reborn? I get questions like, where can I get that baby? And of course, you learn as you go along that these are, one of a kind, hand painted works of art. And, some artists will make the same sculpt and paint it similar for you. It will never, ever be the same. And for, the most part, we try to, that's what we're, part and party to why, we're paying so much money for these works of art, because they are unique, one of a kind works of art. I appreciate the artists that won't repeat the same, try to repeat the same doll, the same sculpt, okay, but if it's nice to see them then do it totally different. I appreciate that, and some artists do. This artist in particular, she'll only do one of a sculpt and possibly two, but if she does a second of the same sculpt, it's gonna be completely different. So you truly know when you are getting a doll from this artist that your baby is going to be a unique, absolutely one of a kind, only one in the world. Not the sculpt, but obviously the way the sculpt is painted and rooted, which it's nice, it's fun. This little guy represents, me, my personality, what I love in these dolls, just kind of to the T. He's just, that bundle of a little bit of everything, right? And what you want in a baby. And, Yeah, that's my boy. So I definitely love, enjoy, and appreciate this guy. And yes, he is wearing his brother Oscar's Guns and Roses, Sweet Child of Mine t-shirt. It kind of matches mommy. I have a few Guns N' Roses t-shirts that I'm known to wear on my channel often because that's usually kind of what I have on when I'm around in the house. So anyways, so a little bit of a mishmash of little sculpt talk and falling in love with the sculpt, folks. Let me bring it back around to where I started with the new, newcomers coming in and all of that. You'll get to pay attention to, other collectors and, as you go along, and loving the sculpt of the doll is extremely important. Loving the features of the sculpt, knowing, do I want open eyes or closed eyes, open hands, closed hands, one of each, doesn't matter. The size of the baby. I'll get into that in more detail and throughout the year. Very exciting. There's going to be not too many new babies coming in this year. But the ones coming in are going to be very, very special. And I will then have a lot of, time with them, which I'm really excited about. And I'm going to be working with some newer artists this year that I'm really, really excited to bring to their work to all of you on my channel, and possibly somewhere then that is babies that may be more obtainable to newer collectors, places of recommendation for people to go where they actually, may be able to complete getting their first doll or second doll, you know what I'm saying? Like just possibly. So, but, either way, I'm excited to, be doing that and having some newer artists work, some just other artists, different artists. You tend to kind of stay with what you're comfortable with, artists that you're very comfortable with, especially when you've been collecting a little bit of time and you realize when you push out of your comfort zone, you may be not happy in one way or another. Not that there's anything wrong or whatever, but we all have our different tastes. But I also realize as you go along, well, heck, I found these artists because I was willing to try. So I want to experience, I've always been all about experiencing the diversity and different artists' work and all that. So we're going to have some fun this year. And, lots to bring to all of you out there. All right, everyone. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, hit your notification bell so that you never miss a video and so that you receive invites to my live streams, which I will be back at very soon. All right, everyone. Let's wait with this hand. Mwah! Mwah! Till next time, God bless.